Nucleus, one of Geometry Dash's best spam players and the verifier of the Top 1 Spam Challenge, Dectuple Spam Legend, has been exposed for storing and trading explicit child videos and photos. I'll go over all of the evidence so far in this video. Recently, @Skylar06uwu on Twitter posted a screenshot containing messages from a group chat in which Nucleus is included. In the screenshot, Nucleus says that he hasn't told a single one of his top 100 regrets to a single person, and then immediately follows up that statement saying, "I used to save all the nudes I would get from trading with girls, so it was a literal CP folder," in reference to a folder he had called test folder with 851 files contained inside. Ooh, what the fuck? There's so much to break down here. Firstly, for what reason did he think this was okay information to share? What goes on in the minds of these pedophiles? It's not like he was exposed or anything, or pressured into sharing this career-ruining information. He literally just told people he had 851 filed child porn folder for shits and giggles. Also, if he's sharing his child porn folder right after saying he's never told a single soul his top 100 regrets, what the fuck else has he done? If almost 1,000 images of fucking child porn isn't in your top 100 regrets, there's some other conclusions we can make about you as a person. Furthermore, in an unlisted video posted by @Squeeg-Gaming on YouTube, which I will have linked in the description, another screenshot can be found between Nucleus and a few others whose names I will censor. In this screenshot, after one user calls him out saying, "You had 800 plus images of child porn, what the fuck are you on about?" Nucleus attempts to defend himself, saying that the images were, quote, "of people my age, 17, that fully consented to it and gave me explicit permission to save them. This was also over a year back. I deleted that folder in October 2024. I don't do that and haven't done that since," end quote. Which, is an insane response, especially considering the context. I personally don't even believe his statements here were fully truthful for reasons I'll get into in a second, but even assuming they were, you are still actively harboring child porn on your device and trying to say that you've changed as a defense. Changing as a person does not and will never excuse having child porn on your device. The only way you'll ever get forgiveness from anyone is if you say you fucked up and you apologize sincerely. Nucleus actually did release a now deleted apology livestream, which I saw with my own two eyes and unfortunately did not have the foresight to save, in which he is completely insincere. When a friend of mine sent me the video, I quoted his apology, which I'll put up a screenshot of. You can see how in this now deleted livestream, he started his apology and then proceeded to play random notes on the electric guitar at max volume to interrupt himself from explaining anything. This went on for over 30 minutes, by the way. Unfortunately for these claims about the livestream, I have no proof other than the fact that I know what I saw, so you'll just have to believe me about these. Now, I'll explain why his whole defense is a lie, or at least not completely truthful. His statement implies that while he was 17 years old, he accumulated 851 files of child porn, all of which were of people the same age as him, sending them with permission consensually. So if he's not lying, he was casually gathering more than 2 files of child porn daily for an entire year. I'm gonna be generous, do my own estimations, and assume he stopped this behavior right when he turned 18 and was receiving and saving 1 file of child porn per day. This would mean that this was a consistent behavior since he was 15 years old. Now, I know how the minds of a lot of these people work, and let me tell you, I can say with about 90% certainty that this behavior likely started closer to 12 or 13. This problem just doesn't get that bad without it starting around that age, or possibly even earlier. My previous estimation of 15 is extremely conservative, and still, assuming he didn't delete any of the old photos, he would still have porn of 15-year-olds and likely younger as a 17-year-old, and this is still assuming that everyone that he traded with was the same age as him, which is likely not true since one of the servers he was in that got one of his accounts banned explicitly stated that they were for 13 to 17-year-olds. And not to mention that this is only one of the tens of accounts that he had banned. Just imagine what else might be hiding in those other accounts. Anyways, like I was saying, if you're trying to claim all of the victims were the same age as you and it was all consensual, don't you think it's a bit weird to still have their images saved multiple years later if you're not a pedophile? There is a chance, a small one at that, but still a chance that my estimate of this behavior starting at 15 is an underestimation. If that's the case, it's still insane that he was receiving more than 2 child porn files daily. Anyways, like I said earlier, he also states that all participants were the same age as him. All 851, which I personally find unlikely. Following that, he states that all 851 images and videos were consensually downloaded, which I guess is possible, even though highly unlikely, and even if they were all consensual, every single one, minors still can't consent and never will be able to consent. You cannot just claim that your hundreds of images of child porn are consensual. It is true that Romeo and Juliet laws exist in some places that allow for minors to consent with other minors of a similar age range, but nowhere does that apply online, let alone across state or country borders. Once this type of content moves online, it goes straight to child pornography charges. The statement that Nucleus made to try and defend himself is just riddled with lies and half-truths, and when you also factor in that he says there's 100 things that are worse that he's done, you can really make some wild assumptions about him. Anyways, the user that originally called him out in this screenshot finally responds with, "Stop trying to defend yourself, you're a pedophile," which basically summarizes all of what I just said. Finally, I have some proof that Nucleus is racist, homophobic, and transphobic as well. I don't want to make this video too long, so I'll quickly show a picture of his face, which a friend who wishes to stay anonymous provided me. This friend has shown proof of himself as being in a group chat with Nucleus for multiple years and has also sourced me many of these screenshots showing Nucleus' racism, homophobia, and transphobia. Thank you for listening. #Nucleus out.